We are celebrating 595 years of service. Give it up. A joke I've already used once is that 500 of the 595 are all from Angie Falk. So tonight, it'll be a roast. I mean, not a roast at all. It's a celebration of some wonderful folks. Audience participation is encouraged. I see young folks out there, so avoid going blue. We will have our dignitaries line up here, so our board members, if they could come over here, our association presidents, if they could come on down as well, and cabinet, come on down. So LVEA, LVCA. We will, as folks come on down, as I call you, come on down, we will do fist bumps. I may hug if you want. If you don't want to hug, you can do this. But for our VIPs and celebs, let's fist bump only, since flu season is getting a little wild out there. Dr. Cyphers and I are not worried about the flu, so we may hug. Side hugs only. Excellent. Jesse Sweeney and Sherry Sonny. Stand up, Sherry. Sherry and Jesse do all the work to make this happen, and we so appreciate them. So we'll get started. For the 15 years of extraordinary service, Dr. Cyphers will lead us off.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Wow. All right, let's have Fariba Albert. Fariba, come up here and join us. If you hear your name called, come on down. Fariba, Agora High School's own. Her assignment at LVUSD at Agora, a special education teacher, community-based induction program, 15 years of service. Her fondest memory working in education, so many great memories. Her fondest one was that when her youngest daughter joined the LVUSD family in 2017. Stand up, please. That is Marcia. Am I correct at YB? Do I have that right? Your mom's fondest memory at LVUSD. Greatest challenge is when in her career was in-person instruction. It switched to online Zoom instruction during COVID-19. You're giving me PTSD. New territory, new adventure, and a lot of learning, says Fariba. Her childhood ambition is to be a psychologist or a school counselor, but she says, but what did I know then? Her favorite place to go, her retreat, is the beaches of Santa Barbara and Hawaii. Her perfect day is when she's surrounded by her loved ones, and her life is one of gratitude and blessings. 15 years for Reba Albert. All right, it's AC Stell's own Jesse Dickinson. Jesse, come on down. Gets a solid pop. How are you, Jesse? All righty. Jesse's list of assignments in LVUSD: leadership, 7th grade history, college prep, 7th grade history honors. In the past, she's also done 6th grade CP history, 8th grade CP, and yearbook. Very impressive. Fondest memory work in education, teaching a former student, Kevin Cardasco, for his 6th and 7th grade year, who passed away. Kevin was the bravest and most positive person, she says, that she's ever known. He sadly lost his battle with cancer, but he left a permanent mark on her heart. She is proud that every year she got to honor Kevin's memory and legacy by running AC Stell's annual Penny Wars fundraiser for the foundation created in his name. Over the past 6 years, they have raised over $15,000 by collecting coins. It's absolutely awesome. Her greatest challenge, taking on too much and not asking for help. Can tell that from ASB in your book. You've got sucker right there on the forehead. Childhood ambition, either to be a mailman, the CEO of Disney, or a teacher. So one of those three worked out perfectly. Excellent. Her retreat, summertime travels. She says, #HelloSummerJesse. And she says, if you know, you know. HR will not ask you any questions about that. Her perfect day is going on a plane and going on a new adventure. Her life is pretty wonderful, and she's very lucky to have a support system that loves her and cheers for her no matter what. Jesse Dickinson, AC Stell, 15 years. All right, any hassle, any hassle? Come on down. At LVUSD, Annie has been a secondary special education teacher at Agora High School, A.E. Wright Middle School, and A.C. Stell Middle School. Fondest memory working in education when former students return to say hello and tell her about where life has taken them. Her greatest challenge is the daily juggle of being a teacher and a mom. Her childhood ambition is to be a kindergarten teacher. There's still time. You got the... She says no. Her retreat, rainy day, strong coffee, fluffy blanket, and a good book. Her perfect day is when her students have an aha moment. And again, the coffee is strong, and there's treats in the break room. Got cookies for you on your way out back there. Trying to take care of that. And her life is, as she says, content and fulfilled. Annie Hassel, 15 years. All right, Amanda Hurley. Amanda Hurley, come on down. Is she here? No Amanda? All right, no Amanda. Do I do Amanda real quick, or do I move on? Okay. Briefly for Amanda, special education teacher, White Oak, Mariposa, Willow, and currently LCMS. Her fondest memory working in education. She got a Best Teacher Ever sign placed in her front yard for Teacher Appreciation Week during COVID. Her life is a roller coaster. She says, hang on and enjoy the ride. It's okay to scream, says Amanda. That is very fitting for Amanda. Amanda, 15 years from Ladero Canyon. All right, Diane Quinn, Agora High School. We've got a solid crew out from Charger Country tonight. Skipped a few. All right, Diane at Agora. She says her fondest memory working in education. She's always enjoyed watching the students with enthusiasm during Spirit Days, during the pep rallies. Her greatest challenge, raising her boys. How old are your young men?
29 and 26.
29 and 26. Childhood ambition is to be a party planner. How do we do here? Is this okay? Got a good crew? All right, her retreat is the beach. Any specific beach or wherever is all good, she says. Perfect day, sleeping in, exercising, gardening, reading. And she says, in other words, it's all about me. Her life is hectic, busy, full of hugs, and lots of love. Diane Quinn, Agora High School, 15 years. We're continuing the Charger representation. Anna Robinson, come on down. Also 15 years. Anna's fondest memory working in education. Welcome, Anna. Is watching the light bulb go on in her students' minds when they conquer a math concept that they thought they never could. Her greatest challenge, raising her beautiful daughter, Lucy. Childhood ambition, to save all sick animals. We got a veterinarian here. I love it. Her retreat, the mountains or the beach. Any specific mountains or beach or anywhere goes? You and Diane are on the same page. Perfect day, enjoying the great outdoors with her family. Anybody here tonight from the crew? No one's here tonight? Okay. They owe you a trip to the great outdoors for not coming. Her life is a long, adventurous hike filled with descents and ascents, encouraged and guided by the love from her family and friends to keep her moving forward. 15 years, Anna Robinson. All right, Laura Rue from Willow. Let's know, Laura. There she is. All right, Laura has been with us at Buttercup and Willow. Fondest memory working in education. She was teaching in preschool, and one of her kiddos had moved on to elementary school. Her father made a point to come back to the school to thank her and tell her that she's still talking about you even after leaving. It's always nice when kids that have been in the rooms she works with special needs say hi to her and walk on through the campus. Her greatest challenge, working with a very challenging child and not always knowing how their day started and how could change how the day will go. Her childhood ambition, she's always wanted to work with children. She's living that dream. Her retreat is relaxing with her cat with a glass of wine. You have the glass of wine, not the cat, right? Okay, she has a glass of wine with the cat. When the cat's behaving, and then she says the cat needs a behavior plan. And she says, but she can get away hanging with her dear friends of 50 years. Her perfect day, when her most challenging child follows directions for most of the day. She says she'll take most of the day. Laura Rue, 15 years, Willow Elementary School. Congratulations. Oh. Willow Elementary's very own Brittany Stone. Man. I know. Got a long list for this one. All right. Brittany Stone. Her assignments, obviously, so she had 6 years of pink slips to begin her career. So we've got first grade at Sumac, fourth grade at YB, fifth grade at Chaparral, fifth at Willow, first at Bay Laurel, and then fourth at Willow. My goodness. So that's all in just the beginning? Holy goodness. Countless committees, student council, TIC, and she's the current LVA vice president. Her fondest memory work in education, she says, although it was tough at the time, looking back, she is grateful for all the time she was moved around the district because of being pink slipped every year. She has so many connections and friends at each of the sites that she works at, and it's helped her grow as a teacher and a leader at the district. She also loved going back to work at Sumac, where she went to elementary school, LVUSD grad, just celebrated 20 years at Agora, right? 20 years, sorry about that, yeah. She is, and she got to work with Mrs. Stein at Sumac, who was her first and second grade teacher, and she's the reason why she wanted to go into education. She says her greatest challenge is saying no, hence being involved in so many things throughout the district. You can always say no to elementary roundtable, by the way. That's from Jana, yeah. What did she say? No? No? Oh, she's not giving that one up. Her childhood ambition is to teach and travel the world. You can do that, just don't leave us here at LVUSD. And her favorite retreat is the ocean or anywhere with her nephews. Perfect day is a day at the beach, followed by dinner and drinks with friends or family. Her life is a whirlwind, and she says, can someone please explain how I've been working this long already? Unfortunately, she says she still has many decades to go. 15 years, Brittany Stone. One more huge round of applause for our folks celebrating 15 years of extraordinary service. Going to pass the mic to Dr. Dan Stepanowski to talk to our folks about 20 years of extraordinary service.
And for our 20-year folks, we've got DJ Jazzy Matt Fresh right behind me to play your favorite song. First up, you know him, you love him, Principal Eric Anholt, 20 years. All right, some of his assignments. I met Eric 17 years ago when he was a assistant principal at Calabasas. Teacher at Calabasas, that's right. Dave Jackson promoted you. Teacher, special ed teacher at Lindero Canyon, taught and was admin at Calabasas, AP at Lindero Canyon, principal at White Oak, and currently principal at Lindero Canyon, 20 years service. Eric's fondest memory work in education every time he sees a former student working in our community, especially former LCMS students who are now in their mid-30s with kids of their own. His greatest challenge, raising his own kids. Childhood ambition to make his parents proud. We know you have. Retreat, still trying. His retreat, anywhere in the mountains, solo backpacking trips in the Sierra are where he thinks most clearly. Awesome. His perfect day is Thanksgiving, food, family, football. A few little known facts about Eric. He played football at Stanford. He sacked Ryan Leaf, the quarterback. If anyone remembers Ryan Leaf, he was a historically horrible draft pick. He was classmates with Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey and Rachel Maddow from MSNBC. Excellent. And he describes his life as blessed. His favorite song, it's a classic. Let me describe it first. He and his wife first saw The Who perform live when she was 8.5 months pregnant with their oldest child. Baba O'Reilly, The Who. Eric Anholt, 20 years, folks. Don't they have a line in there somewhere about being wasted or something? They're all wasted. Karen Inglis, Karen, 20 years. Karen, high school math teacher. Fondest memories, so many good memories. I think it was running into a family where I had both daughters as students. We were at Target, nowhere near school, she claims. The family was excited to see her. She introduced me to their grandparents, gave big hugs. It had been quite some time since she'd seen they were students, but it was clear that her class had a positive impact on them. Greatest challenge, teaching students how to have confidence in their abilities. The score on the test does not define who they are as a person, 100%. Childhood ambition to teach elementary school, then worked in fifth grade classroom and decided you were suited for high school. None of that elementary. Her retreat, the beach, surfing. Surfing's, that's the deal. Perfect day, coffee. We've got coffee on the beach again in Hawaii with the husband, daughter, followed by a lazy day of playing in the water and great seafood dinner. Describes her life as a roller coaster of fun and excitement. Her song, one of my favorites. We've got a lot of heavy metal tonight. I appreciate that. Being a child of the 60s. A little, who's he? The Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Crazy Train, folks. And we need smoke bombs and some fireworks for this tonight. 20 years, Chris Larkin. Chris, come on down. Very cool. Assignments, fifth grade science, second and third grade teacher, fondest memory. First day of teaching, he walked into his first of 12 classes at 5 different schools and met his future wife. Is she here? Whoa, wait, you got introduce everybody. Who's here? Tell us who's here.
Seriously?
Yeah.
All right. In the front row, my son Daniel, my uncle Marty Holland, who worked here for how many years in the district? 30 years as a counselor at AU Wright. My brother Patrick, my son Michael, my lovely wife Jody, who I met teaching science on the first day, I taught in the classroom. My father Rob, my mom Marion, and my aunt Sally. And all my chaparral friends. Woo!
Chaparral showing up. Okay, so you had 12 classes in 5 different schools. Was that here in Las Virgenes?
Teaching 4+Science. So Monday, Thursday, I had 6 classes, 4 different schools I traveled to.
Wow.
In one day.
I was going to say, Steve Hankey was a meanie.
Yeah, all his fault.
All his fault.
And Ann Eckler.
Steve. Let's see. All right, greatest challenge, keeping a straight face. This is a good one. Check the audience quickly here. Keeping a straight face while teaching sex ed to George Hease's 5th grade class with George Hease in the back of the classroom grading papers, remaining very professional, never laughing except all the time, laughing at everything he said from the back of the classroom. That's a serious challenge.
That's not Georgia.
Childhood ambition to be a professional wrestler. There's a lot of wrestling fans here. There's a lot of serious wrestling fans in this room. His retreat, Cisco's every day, 4 to 6 p.m.
Not ever.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes, by the way, there is some license with these comments up here. So in his defense, he did not say every day. I added that. Perfect day watching his boys play baseball in the morning, heading out to tailgate before a heavy metal festival in the evening. He describes his life as fantastic because 2 amazing sons and a fun, supportive wife that he loves very much. His amazing family here also. Of course, June, July, August also make life better. Chris's song, I'm a Kiss fan. I'm into some of this, but you went deep on this one. Yeah. This is Pantera, I'm Broken. Chris Larkin. Are we allowed to share the words to that song, Chris, or is that a bad idea? Oh, wow, okay. Well, it's already been screened, pre-screened. Play it backwards, yes. Sonia, 20 years. Sonia Menjavar. Sonia. Like it, yes. Cafeteria operator, cafeteria 1, 20 years service, fondest memory. Fondest memory was working in LVUSD was a time co-worker and I celebrated each other's birthdays and helped one another. We lift each other up, cheer each other up on through the roughest of our days, giving support, patience, understanding, even when one of us is at our tough times and low. Greatest challenge in my life is educating, helping, supporting her daughter with health struggles. Childhood ambition was to focus on my education and successfully progress in my life. Retreat, perfect retreat is taking a walk along sandy beach shore, nature viewing in the mountains, and or meditating at a park close to her house. She describes her perfect day as the one time the most perfect and happiest day in her life. So when a coworker at AC Still threw a birthday surprise during work, I couldn't stop smiling and feeling a sense of joy that I even celebrated my birthday with my youngest daughter as well. Her life is challenging, difficult, but peaceful and joyful. Her song, great song, Green Day, 21 Guns by Green Day. Sonia, 20 years. Sonia. The greatest fisherman I've ever known. I go to him for all of my advice. Unfortunately, it doesn't help me any. Agora High School's very own Mike Robbins. All right, so one of the questions is going to be how many championships have you won and how many has your dad won? So if you need a couple of minutes to think about that or need help from the audience.
Sunday I could win
Okay, that's potential championships. That's that growth mindset. 43% chance of winning a championship this weekend. All right, Mike, let's see. Fondest memory, student teaching under his father at A.E. Wright Middle School. He learned that even with the same speaking mannerisms, the same voice inflections, the same content, the same senses, the sense of humor that's better than your father's.
I would say so, but I think it's tough.
So everything's the same so far, but your sense of humor is better. At teaching the lesson, your dad still was better than you. You're his hero. You're his hero and the legend. The art of teaching is based upon making the work lesson in class based upon your experiences, not replicating others. So it's all a challenge of making the lessons come alive in your own way. Greatest challenge, finding more time in every day. Childhood ambition, be as good a person as you can. Retreat, fishing, and playing baseball. Okay, so how many championships do we have? Basketball?
Championships is
5 fishing championships. And how about dad? Oh!
Sunday's a big day for me.
Oh, Sunday we tie it up? Do we tie it up on Sunday?
There's a possibility. There's an outside chance.
What does Vegas Vic think the chances are this weekend?
I've been doing it for 43 years, and he's been doing it for 25, so his percentage is much better.
All right. So on Sunday, we want an email to cabinet@lvusd.org. Let us know how it went.
You don't get one. I didn't win. I'm sorry.
Perfect day, relaxing at the beach with boys and his wife. He describes his life as filled with managing chaos and finding the joy of the little things. His song, it's a classic from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Pure Imagination. Mike Robbins, 20 years. Mike Robbins, fishing champion, coming to a neighborhood near you this weekend. Now we're on to 25 years. 25 years of service, starting off with Kim Bowens. Kim, come on down. Fondest memory, the love that was shown to me when my class did a parade out in front of her house during COVID. That is very cool. Greatest challenge, dealing with children at so many different levels, there's so many challenges. Childhood ambition to be a doctor. What kind? Any kind? Retreat is the beach. Perfect day having time to read, relax, and be with family. Her life is precious because it has an incredible family, special friends, amazing staff to work with. Her song, Happy by Pharrell, Kim Bowens. Next up, for 25 years, Michelle Constantino. Michelle. Michelle has taught second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, all at Chaparral, along with being a lead teacher and LVEA rep for years. How many years? It's too painful to remember? 17. Outstanding. Is Darcy nice to work with?
And Brittany too.
Oh man, we don't say nice things here. I mean, come on, this is a roast. All right. Under her breath, she said, I love working with Darcy and Brittany. And she meant it. Fondest memory working in education, having former students who are in their 30s come up to me and tell me what a difference you made in their lives, being invited to weddings, introduced to newborn babies. That is awesome. Greatest challenge was balancing being a wife, mother, daughter, teacher while maintaining sanity on a daily basis. Childhood ambition to be a marine biologist and study whales and dolphins. Retreat the Bend and Sun River in Oregon. Very cool. Perfect day whitewater rafting or kayaking on the Deschutes River in Oregon also. Describes her life as beautiful, chaotic gift that she treasures every day. Her song, it's old school, classic. CSR, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Southern Cross, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle Constantino. Oh, man. 25 years. We know her, we love her. Lisa Hatfield! Let's get rid of Rumble. Seventh grade social studies, yearbook, early college academy, guidance, support, everything at AE Wright. Fondest memory, work in education, amazing people she's had the privilege to work with over the years. Colleagues aren't just colleagues, they are family. AE Wright's strength is that we take care of one another through good and bad times and the difficult times. Greatest challenge, living in a middle school world with an old lady body. Just for the record, Lisa, you wrote those words, right? Just want to make sure HR gets that down. Steph did not improv on this one. Strictly sticking to the script. Childhood ambition to be Martha Stewart's apprentice. But a big caveat. You want to be Martha Stewart's apprentice, but not go to jail.
That was the caveat.
Caveat. Again, on the script. Not making any of this up because Lisa's funny. Retreat. Good long walk, preferably without dogs tripping me. Perfect day, a day at the beach, and a big fat steak for dinner. Any specific type that we love the most? Life, she describes as a grain of sand in the beach of life. Her song, old school again, Stephen Stills, performed with Stevie Nicks. And this song is always in style, for what it's worth. Lisa Hatfield, 25 years. Lisa Hatfield. "25 years, Shami Meshki, Shami." Are we shamulous? We are. Child nutrition, 25 years, having kids. I sort of recognize me outside the work area as the lunch lady, is her fondest memory. Oh boy, 25 years, Jason Rosenthal. We're doing it. This guy, holy smokes. If you haven't read the Ventura County Star or the Acorn, I'll share some information with you because he is a legend. First off, Jason's assignments: teacher at Agora, PE teacher, freshman seminar, California history, world geo, world studies, Agora, girls water polo and swim coach, Agora, boys water polo and swim coach. Gotta take a breath and rest. Can I rest a little bit here? Take a knee maybe? Agora girls basketball coach, PE specialist at Round Meadow Elementary, and a K-12 student, graduated Agora in 1988. Oh. Fondest memory, seeing so many kids go through high school and watching them go from squirrely little freshmen to mature young adults. Awesome. Greatest challenge, he chooses not to answer. We could put some in there. No? Helly's saying no, Ryan? What's that?
They tried teaching PE online for a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
It's yeah, it's too scary to be funny at all. Childhood ambition to be a helicopter or jet pilot. Love it. Retreat Dodger Stadium. Speaking of sports, let's see if I have these numbers right. So Jason holds a bunch of records, I think state records. First of all, he was 32 years as the water polo coach at Agora High School. Was the only water polo coach for the girls until just this year. He retired. He says he may come back with a new pool, though.
I got little ones that play. So.
Oh, we got ballers. Nice. Let's see. Your record as girls coach was 537 wins and 214 losses, which is insane. It's like a 700 winning percentage. He took the team to 6 CIF championship finals and 2 CIF championship titles. He also holds the CIF record for consecutive wins at 170 consecutive league wins. That's like 30 straight years of winning. 20. I'm just trying to hype you up here a little bit. You know, I got to work with them. Jeez, I don't know. All right, 20 straight years of winning. Not too shabby. Your last loss was 2004. Half of Cabinet wasn't born in 2004. Overall record, because he was also a coach for the boys water polo team, is 1,021 wins and 502 losses. That's insane. 30 league titles in girls, 30 league titles combined between girls and boys water polo. Jeez. Jason Rosenthal, jeez, let's give it up. I'm not done. He describes his perfect day as a day with the family at the beach or on a boat at Bass Lake. Describes his life as complete because of family I have and the friends he's made along the way. Your family's here and they're future ballers. Introduce them.
My wife, Jennifer, my oldest, who's 11, Peyton, and my youngest, Presley, who's 9. And Monkey. Bring Monkey.
What sport do you guys play? I'm kidding. Kidding. His song, a great song from U2, Where the Streets Have No Name, Jason Rosenthal. Ooh, this next one's, these are all amazing folks who've contributed so much to the school district. Mauricio Serrano, 25. I mean, 25 years later, you just wear shorts. I love it. I mean, it's like, that's what I would do too. All right, let's see here. From October 96 to 97, substitute custodian at Calabasas High School from 97-98. You were at Yerba Buena in Lindero midday. From 98 to 2003, plant manager at Chaparral. And then from December 2003, when it opened, plant manager at AC Stell. Fondest memories, seeing his son graduate from where he works. Greatest challenge was returning from your heart operation. Yeah, Robbie and I came by to visit you at your house, and you recovered like a champ and were an inspiration to all of us. Childhood ambition to be a professional soccer player? Which position? Like Pele? Nice. Were you good? Can you still play? You still got game? Yeah, we need you, yeah, still. Retreat, going to Playa del Carmen. Perfect day being at home with the family. His life is his family, his song, Queen. We are the champions. Mauricio. Cinco. 25 years old, so this is just like the star, the tales of legends. Sean Budmaska. Sean, come on down. Sean, managing. Yes. This guy right here single-handedly keeps all of our gosh darn air conditioners working. Give it up for Sean. I'm going to recommend you for a statue.
I'm going to stand behind him because some of them don't always work.
That is not your fault. When they work, you get the credit, 100%. They don't work because they're old. His list of assignments, managing and maintaining air conditioning units. Fondest memory working in education is kids being inquisitive while he's working, always asking questions, but keeping them at a safe distance, right? Excellent. Greatest challenge, work-life balance. Childhood ambition to be an astronaut. Nice. His retreat, garage workshop, working on woodworking projects. Perfect day spending time with family, especially at the beach. Life is blessed. His song, Take a Drive, by Chandler Davey. Sean Rumaska, our AC angel. Years, most likely to have a mohawk in high school, Sean. 30 years, we're hitting 30 years. Trenta, Susanna Baird. Susanna. 30 years. God. Unbelievable. Taught French, Spanish, economics, all at Calabasas for 14 years. Taught economics, was dean of attendance, 504 coordinator at Agora for 10 years, assistant principal athletics, AP of curriculum at Agora, and then for 2 years, and then the last 4 years, principal at AC Stell. Fondest memory working in education, the feeling we get every year on the first day of summer. That's perfect. You didn't, I made that up. I totally made that. It's not on the paper. Yeah. Greatest challenge, not reading emails after hour. This is for all of us here. Childhood ambition to be a mom and a businesswoman. Retreat, shoe shopping at the Rack. Perfect day, a beautiful sunny day on a tropical island life. Everything she'd planned for and some things that just happened. Her song, Good Life, One Republic. Susanna Baird, 30 years. 30 years also, Dina Moran. Yes, the whole family's in the front row. So Dina, introduce your family for us. Who's here? Microphone. And where do we graduate from? Go Aggies. Fondest memory in education, making deep connections with colleagues, students, and parents, meeting lifelong friends. Never forget the time 10 years ago when I was called on one of my new and shy second grade students who was timidly raising her hand, and in front of the whole class, he said, "Miss Moran, I love you." That's the best. Greatest challenge, losing loved ones, balancing work and leisure. A more lighthearted challenge, needing readers. Got it. Elementary ambition, to make a difference in the world you are and have, or at least in someone's life. Retreat, the beach, Cape May, or Malibu, perfect. Perfect day, a day with her husband, Rich, children, Jack and Nick, preferably on the Cape or connecting with dear friends, most of whom we've met through teaching. Something simple as a cup of coffee, and absent from correcting papers or returning emails. There's an email theme here, Jim. Life describes a journey full of twists, turns, full of incredible people who she will never forget. Her song, Joni Mitchell, California, Dina Moran. Joni Mitchell and Pantera have got to be. Dina Moran, 30 years. All right, now we're bringing out we have 35 years now. We have 4 people of 35 years. So bring out the big guns. Quite literally. So get your cameras out, folks. We're going to make a mess. First up, Ann Bornhoff, come on down. 35. All right, so Steve, are we starting off with this? I think we do a photo moment, right? Okay, so Ann, if you could stand, and if you'd like to, you can stand right there in the middle of the room. Your camera right in front of you. I'm going to shoot it over you. I'm going to shoot, poor Dina, poor Ann has to go first. All right, so this is what we'll do. I'm going to shoot it over your head, and people are going to take pictures as it falls down around you. All right? We checked this with our safety officer. We're totally fine.
Yeah, audience, it's noisy though.
Yeah, I said we're bringing out the cannons. There go the ears. I'll give. So right there. Turn the microphone. I'll keep it away from the microphone. All right, does your family have the cameras ready? Nicole's got it, all right. We'll see how this works. This could be a really cool idea or a really bad idea. If it's a bad idea, this was Dr. Cyprie's idea. 3, 2, 1. There you go. That's how you celebrate 35 years. All right. A little bit about Ann. She joined the district in 1987 when none of cabinet was born except me. Began her career at Sumac Elementary, teaching 2nd, 3rd grade, came to White Oak in 96, taught 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. After having her own children, she worked 20, 50, 60%, eventually came up to 100%. All teachers are always working 100%. Very thankful to LVST for allowing me to balance family and career through so many part-time options. I've taken on leadership roles, served in many committees over the years. Fondest memory of so many, putting on musicals, watching children overcome obstacles while growing socially, emotionally, academically, establishing lasting relationships with students' families, teaching splits, looping classes, getting to bond with students over the 2 years, home hospital teaching former students and was in the news for that. Greatest challenge, teaching whilst undergoing treatment for cancer while losing mom unexpectedly. A childhood ambition to become a teacher. She is living her dream retreat. The beach, walking on the beach with husband Dan. That must be a man of taste and distinction. Great name. Perfect day, traveling adventure with family, anywhere, any time of the year. Describes her life filled with many blessings. Her song, You Can Never Go Wrong with Elton John, I'm Still Standing. Ann Bornhoff, 35 years. "35 years, wow." Angie Falk. Oh. Do you want a picture? Her, by the way, her comment was, I don't know if it's for the microphone or not, but she said, "I wish that was money." Oh, man. To know Angie is to absolutely love her. A list of assignments, everything in Las Virgenes. Special education, special ed department chair, program specialist, program coordinator, director of pupil services. Fondest memory when former students contact me, thank me for helping them out, lifting them up. Greatest challenge, aging gracefully. Childhood ambition to be a detective like Nancy Drew. Retreat, vacation with husband, daughters, grandkids. Retreating, where are we going? Where are we vacationing? Doesn't matter, just as long as they're there. Perfect day is a bike ride, which she does every day. So you've got a lot of good days. If you see Angie on the highway, be very careful around her and Andy. Jesus, they're on the 101, the 405 with these bicycles. We need you guys to stay around. Okay, so perfect day, biking on the 101, 405, or riding to breakfast or lunch or watching football or supervising Tilly in Malibu. Thank you very much. Describes her life as blessed. Her song, The Beatles, to Prudence. Angie Falk, 35 years. Wow, 35 years. "35 years also, Christy Kimball." Ready? Okay, Christy, you're in the middle. We can autograph these for you, by the way. Angie, you want yours autographed? Put my safety glasses on. All right, we're going over your head. Everyone, the family got the cameras ready? If you guys want to move up here, get closer? Come on down. It's like a full contact sport here. The power of moments. 35 years. 3, 2, 1. Wanna rock and roll all night and party every. All right, Christy Kimball, 6th grade, 7th grade, 7th grade honors ELA, 6th grade, 7th grade PE, 6th grade early college academy, 7th grade ELA support, fondest, started the volleyball team at Calabasas.
Yeah, way back. I forgot about that.
Nice, excellent. Fondest memory have been too many. However, my home away from home has been A-Right for 35 years. Anyone from A-Right here? People she works with and the students make every day rewarding. Greatest challenge, thinking of creative Halloween costumes every year because our staff is so damn competitive. I feel your pressure over there. Childhood ambition to be a teacher, retreat, Tahoe, or Hawaii. Can't go wrong. Perfect day, a good, perfect school day, sorry. Perfect school day, a good night's sleep, yeah. Coffee, 120 students, the gym or trail, a TV show, then reading. Throw in any family member, even better. Interchangeable. Describes her life as full, especially with the addition of her granddaughter. Oh, we're not, oh, congratulations. What, tell us, name?
Her name is Ella Wen, and that's my son Tyler. He's student taught last year at AC Still.
Her song, Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. And 35 years service, Linda Yolis. Cameras are coming. Everyone's lining up with their pictures. Gotcha. Come on down. Nikki, you can come closer if you want to. This is very safe. This is what's a risk manager reviewed this extensively. Ryan, are you ready, Linda? 35 years of amazingness. All right, 3, 2, 1. For all the risk managers, no one was injured in the making of all this confetti. Linda Yolis, let's see, 3rd grade, 5th grade, and 3 combination classes, all at Chaparral? Wow. Chaparral in the house? Fondest memory, working in education, connecting with teachers and students all over the world through your classroom blog, which got a lot of press, international attention. Greatest challenging, recognizing each child's unique, enjoying the challenges, meeting their needs, and maximizing their potential. Childhood ambition was always to be a teacher. Retreat is her own backyard. Perfect day, Maui, coffee in bed, snorkeling on a beautiful coral reef, a stroll through the farmer's market, and finally watching, because of course Linda has like 25 things in one day.
And a Mai Tai.
Oh, and a Mai Tais. We got the Mai Tai. Farmer's market, finally watching the sunset on the beach with the Mai Tai. She describes her life, a journey I am always learning, and we are always learning from you. Her song, Happy by Pharrell, Linda Yolis. All right, 595 years of extraordinary service. Let's have all of our extraordinary service folks stand for one more round of applause. Everyone stand back up. All right, we are going to wrap up with a little rock and roll all night. And that's also a chance for cookies and iced tea back there. We appreciate you. Take pictures, take some confetti home with you. We appreciate all of you so much. Have a great night.
I call the regular board meeting of November 15th to order. Please silence your cell phones, and we have a special treat tonight. We have the Chaparral 3rd grade Brownie Troop number 70186 to lead us in a flag salute.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. On my honors, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard, post the colors. Color Guard, salute the colors. Color Guard dismissed.
Thank you. That was
Thank you
great.
very much.
What happens to their flags?
They're going to come get them.
Oh. So cute. Don't forget. I didn't want you to forget them. So cute.
Okay.
So I have nothing to report out of closed session.
Jen, are you fixing that? Jen, you got it.
So cute.
I have nothing to report out of closed session, and can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, student?
Aye.
Board?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Sorry.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of November 1st?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, student?
Aye.
Board?
Aye.
Oh, and I forgot to mention Dr. Videra is unable to attend tonight's open session. She was part of closed session. Staff board communication. Student?
Madam President, members of the board, these past weeks at our high school campuses can only be described as ecstatic. To begin, our students wish to congratulate members Cutbill, Stein, and Lawrence on their well-deserved re-election, and we are also glad to see the passing of Measure S to support and boost our campuses. At School News at Agora, the amazing wellness counselors brought mini therapy ponies for our campus for students to enjoy. Additionally, we had 4 amazing athletes signed for soccer, beach volleyball, and volleyball. Today, the FBI was on campus to set up in the library to present to the forensics class. AHS dance team hosted its annual World of Dance event to raise money for the team. And over at Calabasas, we want to first congratulate our Model UN team for their unprecedented wins at Stanford MUN this weekend. Additionally, we want to recognize our football team for going further in the playoffs following their game at Ramona High School last weekend. And lastly, we're excited to continue campus tours to show prospective students and parents all that CHS has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cutbill?
I'll forego comments because we have a full agenda, and I think a lot of you will cover things I would have said, so just to avoid repetition.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Lawrence?
I just want to thank everyone who turned out to vote for Measure S. It was really rewarding to see the amount of work that went into that and see the great success. This community really stepped forward in a big way and make an investment for the future. So just really thank everyone who did that. Thank our 2 board liaisons, Ms. Stein and Ms. Cutbill, for their work helping to lead that as well over the last 3 months. That went by quick.
Felt like a year, but who's counting? Thank you.
Ms. Stein?
Thank you very much. Echo what Mr. Lawrence said. Measure S is passing. The votes won't be certified probably till the beginning of December. They're still counting them, but I don't think it can't lose at this point. So we're very excited about that, and we will be recognizing our chair people and key people at our next school board meeting. And thank you to everyone, the community, for their trust in our ability to lead and this great district. Mrs. Cutbill and I had an opportunity to visit Calabasas High School. It's always wonderful. Oh, there we are. So this year they started the new Broadcast Academy, and that is the green screen for morning announcements. So no, we were not part of morning announcements, but we snuck in for a photo. So we got to speak to many students and see, it's like a pod of classrooms there. They're doing all kinds of broadcasting stuff, for lack of a better word, with all kinds of equipment. And it was truly amazing. We got to speak to students. We also spoke to them about the new bell schedule. We got kind of a thumbs up, better than last year. I'll take that as a thumbs up. So that was good. Next, Mrs. Cutbill and I visited Sumac on Dia de los Muertos celebration, and that was fun to see the students learn all about historical figures. And it was, the decorations and everything was just wonderful, and they made the little headbands for us, and we were a part of the celebration. So that was so much fun. Mrs. Cutbill and I seem to be on a road show together. We also went and honored Dennis Weber, who's a city council member for the city of Agoura Hills for 30 years, and he's retiring. So it was an honor to represent the district during that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to congratulate my fellow board members for their reelection. We have had a very collaborative relationship, and I look forward to many more years of collaboration. And I was able to sit in on a finance committee meeting this past week, and my impression is that in celebration of Measure S, I just feel like this picture of the duck on a pond. It looks all smooth sailing, but underneath the duck is paddling furiously. And I appreciate all of the effort that committee is going through, all the hoops they're jumping through to prepare us to be able to access the funds for Measure S when that becomes available. And again, congratulations to everyone. Dr. Stepp.
Madam President, members of the board, just a few things. As several board members have mentioned, we so appreciate our community voting, participating. It looks like 43% of votes are in right now. I think there are 8,000 or so more to be counted. Their support with Measure E, with Measure G, and now with Measure S is greatly appreciated. The connection we have with our community and their support matters, is a true testament to everything we do and everyone even we celebrated today. Congratulations to Mr. Lawrence, Ms. Stein, Ms. Cutbill for your resounding victories, as our student board member already mentioned. And also thank you to our two volunteer parent chairs, Amanda Poolhouse on the far right and Tara Maynard next to me. We so appreciate their leadership, their hard work, literally blood, sweat, and tears that they poured into the Measure S effort. It will have a generational impact for our students and our entire community.
I just want to say we're going to honor them more fully in the next meeting. So.
We're putting a big list of people we appreciate and have them on here and recognize and celebrate and appreciate them.
Were you saying that only 43% of votes have been counted, or 43% of voters voted and there's 8,000 more votes to go? Which?
There are 43% of votes are in right now and another 8,000 after that.
So only not even half the votes have been counted yet?
The data shows we only need 23% of the remaining ballots.
I'm just wondering how many,
Right.
Okay.
Not 43% of the votes voted. 43% of total of the 46,000 who are eligible to vote. We have 43% participation rate.
Okay, so more than half have been counted already, 8,000 outstanding, okay, thanks.
80% of the ballots have been counted.
That's what I was wondering, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the turnout, they're anticipating roughly about a 50% turnout, I think, this
Oh, it's
election.
down. Well, I thought they were hoping it'd be closer to 60, okay.
We'll see when everything's
Traditionally, Las Virgenes and gubernatorials is at 63% participation rate. I think we'll fall short of that. Yeah, probably somewhere in 50, maybe low 50%. So just a little back of the napkin calculation from myself. There were about 100 school bond measures across the state. It looks like from CASH is the Coalition of Adequate School Housing. They estimate 60% of bonds passed. That is actually a low number. Typically, they're more like closer to 80%. Back in 2020, the state experienced a 60% pass rate. There's still calculations coming in, but among those that I'm tracking closely in LA County, we really are standing out above the rest at around 63.4, 63.5%. So you can see the other districts there. I think Wiseburn started out at 54%, and they have edged just over 55.5%. And
how big is Long Beach USD?
Massive, yes. You notice there's a $1.7 billion bond on there.
Isn't it like the third largest district in the country, something like that?
In the country?
Something like that, I think.
Not in the country, maybe
No,
California.
in the state? Oh, okay.
Well, LA, New York are 1 and 2.
Right, and I
And
thought
then
it,
San Diego's second biggest in the state.
it is? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's top 10 across the country,
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
It's massive. Yeah, when I saw the 1.7 billion, I took a double take and double checked it also. I was like, whoa. That is big bucks. 68,000 students. Yeah.
Not that big.
Yeah, it's not as big as I thought. Okay.
Yeah, Irvine is probably 40,000 students, so massive. So again, testament to our support, and it's interesting that, yeah, these are the numbers where they are falling, so we appreciate that. More votes to come, and as Ms. Stein, I think, mentioned earlier, the county has 28 days to certify the results, and they will send us a certificate, and the board will adopt the official certified results from LA County. Next slide, Jim. So we are not wasting a minute. So yesterday afternoon, after cabinet, Ms. Abbott and Sean Vubaska, who was here tonight, we all headed out to Oxnard. This is Del Sol High School in Oxnard Union School District. They are building this brand-new school, and Balfour Beatty is doing the construction there. So they were supportive of us and our bond effort, and so wanted to meet some of the people there and take a tour and see some of the facilities. Obviously, we are not building any new schools, nothing that extravagant, but we have the last 60 or so days been working hard to get ready, hit the ground running. We shared the urgency of the Measure S projects, and we want to get rolling on those as soon as possible. Next slide.
Do you think realistically we can have AC by summer?
For each building?
Each building, yeah.
No.
No.
No. It's a lot more
Unfortunately.
That's a huge project. That's going to require moving students out into portables, staging it. It'll pretty much involve the entire
So
building.
part of what we were doing yesterday, Mr. Lawrence and board members, was just talking to the construction companies. For example, HVAC units are on an 18-month lag.
Because the back order, not because we don't have them, and we can't order them in advance because the money's not in it.
And the mic.
I think Dr. Gleason will talk about that later on. We do have a mechanism to moving much faster, and so that we'll explore that with finance, facility, and bring that to the board. The board would have to take action on that. There are financial devices that can get us access to the funds earlier. They are, first of all, the most important thing is they would not touch anyone's property taxes.
Right.
So we would be able to access the funds in advance, but Measure S does not start until 2026, regardless of what we do. So people's taxes will not change. Measure R will continue through 2026, drop off, and then Measure S will continue at the same tax rate. So no one's tax statements will change. But our financial advisor, Mr. Tim Carty, has advised us on some ways we can move faster, because if we move faster, we can purchase and start that 18 to 24 to 36-month timeline on buying some of these materials, potentially stage them, and we're experiencing inflation at about 1% on construction materials a month. So we could actually save a significant amount of money that I think Dr. Gleason will talk about a little later on, maybe. Perfect. Next slide. Calabasas Model UN team crushed it for the 5th year in a row. They placed #1 out of 40 schools at Stanford University just last week, so congrats to them. The students debated topics that range from bioethical concerns of vaccines, political issues in the Italian parliament, and increasing funding for sustainable development. Calabasas was the only school that every student on the team won an award. This group was led by our very own Mr. Brad Bowman. Students Ashi Batia got 4th place. She's a sophomore. Carly Bloom got 1st place. She's a senior. Sophia Bronstein got 4th place. She's a senior. Ashi Jarwar, senior, 1st place. Erin Marshall, 2nd place, senior. Dory Lisa Mertzi, 2nd place, senior. And Audrey Rumteen, sophomore, 4th place. Congratulations to Model UN from Calabasas.
What a great photo.
Wow, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a little bit more here. Mr. Bowman's activities are come full circle. Calabasas alum Ethan Lee, who founded the program in 2016. Remember him, Ethan Lee? He is now a senior at Stanford, and he was working the event. So he was excited to be there to welcome and support the team, and they've gone 5 for 5, 2017 through 2020. It wasn't held in 2021, and again this year in 2022. So 1st place, 5 for 5, and 1st place competitions. Congratulations, Mr. Bowman and all those students. Next slide. It's been mentioned already, but Dia de los Muertos was a beautiful celebration at Sumac Elementary. So much hard work, so heartfelt as they recognized members of their family through the celebration. It truly was beautiful and moving. All of Cabinet and I took a tour and really blown away by the hard work of the parents, staff, and students. Next slide. Have been mentioned, Calabasas football in the playoffs. We're in the semifinals.
Yeah.
We may bring those cold sparkling devices for next year's extraordinary service. They're a lot of fun. I mean, if we're going to play Kiss music, we got to have some pyrotechnics. The confetti's amazing, but,
Yeah.
we could, Anyway, their first time in the semifinals in 6 years. Friday night, it'll be 125 miles away at San Jacinto. We're leaving right after the board meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Go now.
Next slide. I thought I had a picture of our 7th grade theater students from Lindero Canyon. They brought home the hardware from the recent Drama Teachers Association of Southern California under the leadership of David Krasner. They got 4th place for the musical award. They got honorary mention for the academic award, and they got 5th place for large group comedy. So congratulations to the 7th grade theater students at Lindero Canyon Middle School.
Oh, they're there.
There we go.
No, that's
looks
not.
like Agora.
No, that's not. Yeah. Where are they? Okay.
Next time. I think the rest of the team is going to pass on comments since we've had a busy night already.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I do have one speaker card, and I just, if you would come up to the podium and make sure the mic's on and state your name, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. And we cannot comment by law on anything because it's not on the agenda.
Thank you. I would like to reiterate the position that the Theater Boosters legal team relayed to this board and administration. Theater Boosters is a 501c3 organization, is and was a separate organization from LVUSD. Parents, when they take on the financial and legal responsibilities of being a member of a 501c3 board, have the same legal standing as members of this board. No more, no less. The booster organization should be a partnership between parents and administration. Certainly, this board has the right to sever ties with any booster group, but they do not have the right to strong-arm and bludgeon parents who feel that LVUSD has failed to provide the needed fiscal oversight. 501c3s are nonprofits which are run by their own board. The attempt to force an election of a 501c3 is patently illegal. The ongoing attempt last year to strong-arm parents was unconscionable. Parents have a right to voice their concern without fear of retribution. I'm glad you're smiling, Ryan. Mr. Gleason has submitted a complaint to the IRS stating that myself and parent members of Theater Boosters used income and/or assets for personal gain. This is categorically false. We submit to the IRS every year. This accusation falls squarely in the definition of defamation. I would also like to point out that Mr. Gleason referred to a set of bylaws that are out of date. His failure to do proper due diligence reflects a lazy, unprofessional standard. I am surprised that this board supports such a casual attitude towards such accusations. I would ask this board for a full retraction on Mr. Gleason's unsupported charge, or a full statement of support. Parents deserve to know where this board stands. As a side note, I would like to know whether Mr. Gleason's Assistant Superintendent of Business or Chief Business Officer, because it seems to flip-flop on different places on your website. And Mr. Gleason, I will give you an opportunity, since you are not bound by the board, for a retraction.
Yeah. We're all bound by not speaking on something that's not on the agenda.
Okay. Well, then, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So next item is consent A. Can I have a?
Motion to approve consent A.
Second?
All those in favor? Student?
Aye.
Board?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion to approve consent B.
I'll move to approve consent B.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, this is board vote only.
Aye.
Motion passes. Action items, approval of acceptance of audit report for the modernization portion of the Lupin Hill project. Dr. Stepp.
Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, members of the board, excited to share with you as a commitment that we made throughout the Measure S campaign was to always extend and expand the community's investment. A Measure G project, as the board knows, was the Lupin Hill MPR, which has been constructed for several years, but has been said in prior meetings, we are always going out for state matching grants. We received a state matching grant. It's always on a several-year lag. This is the audit report from that, and it is a perfect audit. Just want to share and just acknowledge that with S passing, this is just another illustration of how we extend bond funds to meet the needs of the community.
Can I ask? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was trying to make sense of the budgeting situation, the numbers here. It read to me like the state put in more than we did. I'm looking at page 6, and maybe I'm just reading it wrong. And it listed the state share, $985,000, district contribution, $657,000. So was this a subset of one project on that campus?
Yes.
And there was a grant that actually did more than 100% of the district contribution?
Correct. So we applied for the matching funds, and I know Ms. Cuppel's been on Facilities Committee for the allowable costs.
So matching funds I would expect.
Right.
I've never seen it be 50% more than what we put in.
This is not more, the project was not a $1 million project, it was a multi-million-dollar project.
Yeah, it was many million.
Okay.
It was just for that one.
You can only apply for matching funds based on what you're allowed and qualify for at a given site, based on
No,
the year.
I'm excited about this. When I was looking at the page 6, I'm assuming, I know the whole site was
Sure.
like $8-10 million, whatever it was for the whole site, but they're matching a portion of the program.
Correct.
But they matched at above more than what they asked us to contribute. So I've just never seen that from a state grant before.
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting.
that's just how the audit report reads, given,
Okay.
Yeah.
but it's a great $1 million
Yeah,
extension
no,
of
it's
Measure
a
G.
win-win. I thought it
Yeah.
was fantastic.
And
I
as we
just-
begin our work with Measure S, we're very serious about the accounting piece of it because with the proper accounting on the front end, we will submit every moment we can to, as Dr. Gleason said, expand the value of Measure S for our taxpayers, for our community. And unfortunately, it's years later that you will receive the funds, but they will offset costs increase in the interim or help us, dig further into the project list, expand the project list. Monies we've received earlier helped expand the scope of G and allow us to finish projects like Lupin. But it's a very specific accounting process, and we are all in on making sure from day one that that is in place. There's also discussions, and maybe Mr. Bell, who's in the audience, has a sense if the state will go with the state bond. The state bond funds available now are dwindling. Now, there's very little left. I think it's been a lot of years since they did a state bond. There actually was a state bond on March 2020 when we were out with Measure V, and it failed at that time. And I know Gavin Newsom has been concerned about it and has added general fund elements to the state bond program, which is unusual. I think it's the only time that's ever happened, actually. So I think CASH, again, that's an agency that advocates for school construction. I think, they monitor the situation closely, and they interact with CalSSD a lot. They'll come and present there. So we're hopeful that will take place at some point and, expand what we can do with S and bring additional value to our community.
Terrific, thank you. We have, the district has a strong history of going after, being aggressive with batching funds. Would you like a motion?
Did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Yes.
I move to approve the audit report for the modernization portion of the Lupin Hill project.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, student?
Aye.
Board?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approval of resolution number 12-22, acceptance of CalShape grant. Dr. Stepp.
Madam President, members of the board, again, as Exhibit A for how aggressively we will be in going out for state matching and grant funds, I present this item to us. Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, of the board, members of the board, as Dr. Stepanowski shared, we are always going out, and as was evidenced by the previous item, looking for additional funds to extend our community's investment in our facilities. We applied for a $1.5 million grant through the CalShape program to help work with repair, upgrade, and filter replacements of our existing HVAC units. This is over multiple years. Essentially, this grant will help us sustain the aging systems and help Mr. Sean, who was here earlier tonight, with that work over the course of the next few years while we work to, under Measure S over the course of the next decade, update our HVAC systems. In short, this will relieve the general fund of $1.5 million that would have otherwise gone to these projects.
You had me at 1.5 million.
Wait, I have a question. Me too, but I have a question.
She doesn't want the money.
So CalShape, do they come out often with these types of grants? I mean, will there be an opportunity again to apply and receive this type of grant?
CalShape, for the last few years, we've been watching this grant program, and our district has not qualified based on the criteria. In this latest round of funding, this is the first time we could qualify, and we swung for the fences, and it's a nice, going into S, it's nice to have this tool for the deferred maintenance while we then also go into the overhaul of the existing capital infrastructure.
That's fabulous.
And we will be able to use it at all 14 schools.
Correct. We just have to make sure we use it on allowable filters and making sure they're energy efficient upgrades.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, student?
Aye.
Board?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approval of contract for program management services to Teleq Construction Management, Inc.
Madam President, members of the board, again, we are super excited by the community support with Measure S, and we are not wasting a second. Really, 60 days or so ago, we began serious work with the fingers crossed and our breath held that Measure S would pass, because hate to get too far down the road and too excited about something. But we wanted to be able to hit the ground and get moving as quickly as possible. So we're thrilled with the support of the community and the very apparent passage of Measure S. And so we, over the summer, the board members, that we put out an RFP for services, professional services, contract services, geotechnical, thermal, architecture, all those sorts of things, and received a number of bids that Ms. Kimmel and her team screened through a criteria and then presented to the board. I think, gosh, we had 20 or so, 30 or so companies submit. And then the board in June took action to approve those. And so Teleq was one of those on the group that submitted. I think the only one who submitted for a project manager, in fact, and were board approved back in June. They've been super supportive of our effort. I've known Mr. J. Bell for quite some time. So we're excited to put this before the board and hopefully get approval of this contract so we can get moving. There's a lot of things to think about, information flow, decision-making, priorities, financial vehicles to get moving on projects that would save money and, impact the safety and comfort and wellness of our classrooms for our staff and students as soon as we possibly can. And I want to, again, emphasize that it would save money and it would not start Measure S a moment earlier than 2026. And the options that we've looked at through our financial advisor, Tim Carty, are financially sound and would save the district a lot of funds. So we bring this contract forward to the board. The project manager will be a wonderful, experienced voice to guide us as we map out communication tools, decision-making, information sharing, those sorts of things. And we'll look to the board for guidance on how often they'll want. Obviously, finance and facilities will be intimately involved in how often the board would like presentations here on the progress of Measure S projects. I turn it over to Dr. Gleason.
Madam President, members of the board, I don't know if I've ever been more excited about an agenda item in 7 years. This is very exciting and humbling at what looks like to be a really strong success with Measure S. Just want to start off highlighting and reiterating the points that Dr. Stepanowski said. Conversations about preparing for the bond have been over the past 6 to 12 directly, and then over the past few years, of course. One of the things we're watching very closely is the current rates of inflation for goods and services, as Dr. Stepanowski shared. A rate of 1% per month means that time is money in terms of the taxpayer's investment. Supply chains right now are something that we've been really monitoring closely. Most of our work is, as the board knows so well, in repairing roofs, but also HVAC, and HVAC has a significant delay. Many systems do, so we want to get ahead of that. And our district, in those key project areas like Sumac, Round Meadow, Calabasas High, the H building, we've known for quite some time that they need work. So we've already begun the process of seeking the DSA approvals, getting the architects ready in case Measure S did pass. As Dr. Stepp said, 2026 is when Measure R falls off the books, but we can begin those projects ahead of time. We've been talking about that in Finance Committee. This meeting tonight is not to talk about those fiscal tools that might be available, but that will be likely a conversation at the December meeting per that committee's direction. But at this time, I want to share, Dr. Stepp and I and Ms. Ms. Abbott, have had multiple meetings over the past few months, been very impressed by the team at Telecu, and we're very fortunate tonight to welcome Jay Bell, who is the Senior Vice President of Telecu, has been there 25 years, and is going to share just the scope and breadth of the work that Telecu has done, as well as help make sure we're all on the same page with what project management and why it's necessary right now to really be the architect, no pun intended, of the plan to begin projects as early as this summer. So, Mr. Bell, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Madam President. Stepnowski, push. There we go.
Yeah.
Do I lose it?
Not really.
All right. Well, good evening. Thank you once again. My name is Jay Bell. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight, and congratulations on the overwhelming support from your community. It's very impressive. I've been building schools in California and overseeing programs for over 25 years now. Every time a school district comes to us and says, we're going to pass a bond, we want to do this, I said, well, let's hit the ground running. Let's get things lined up. Let's take care of it. And I've yet to have anyone so closely follow my guidance as your staff here in the district. This is very impressive to be here with you tonight and to have the forethought and to already understand that time is money, literally, and being prudent fiscal agents of public money. A lot of that has to do on these programs with how effectively you can implement the vision that was laid out in your master plan. So a little bit about us. We have a management team that's going to be overseeing our staff here in the district. Preeti D'Souza will be our director overseeing staff, but we will also have staff on site. Our project manager for this job, his name is Jeff Thomas, who actually raised his 3 kids in the district and now has his granddaughter at Buttercup Preschool right now. So intimately familiar with the district, and he'll be happy not to be driving as far. So
I have a little bit of, I don't know Jeff, but a little bit about him. He and his wife moved to Gore in 1988 so that their children could attend LWST. Their eldest, George, attended Lindero, graduated from Gore in 1995. Lauren attended YB, Lindero, and graduated from Gore in 97. Their youngest, Charles, attended YB, Lindero, and graduated Gore in 2002. And as Jay said, their granddaughter, Karina, is attending Buttercup. So we're very excited to have a member of the community and knows LVUSD through and through.
Absolutely, very well. So we're Telecu Construction Management. We're a full-service construction company. We work about 100% with public agencies, and our focus has been dominantly K-12. Over 95% of our clients are K-12. And for them, we provide both program management oversight. Sometimes we do construction management. We also work as a general contractor. But what we're here to talk about today is program management and project management, and I'll go in and help to define those for you. We work throughout California, a real emphasis, though, in Southern California, with over 35 school districts and billions of dollars worth of work. Over the course of my career, when I got started, school bonds required 2/3 to get passed. And we get very excited about a $10 million school bond or 12. I called my mom and said, guess what? They have $17 million. Isn't this so much money? And today we're talking about substantially larger programs such as yours, where we're in the hundreds of millions of dollars are now involved in school construction. And that's just with your local dollars, right? So you've alluded to also these $1 billion of bonds that get passed on a state level as well. There's a lot of money changing hands in educational facilities, and that's required additional levels of management and oversight, and to be able to bring in some of the tools that you would see on other types of major capital programs, like airports and things along those lines. As you see from our footprint, we're all over the place. One of the reasons is because there's schools everywhere. That's why, so. When we start looking at your program and we start thinking through what needs to happen next, at a 50,000-foot level, at an executive level like yourself, what we're really talking about is how to go from your master plan to projects, right? Master plan to projects. There's a number of different elements that are going to be required, a lot of different things you're going to see come across your desks as we go through that process. Right now, what we're doing and what we would do if our contract is finalized is begin laying out a plan and a schedule to implement these different steps that need to take place. Program management, project management is the oversight of multiple projects, multiple efforts through a single capital campaign, single capital program. So every one of your dollars spread out over the duration of this program, managed from planning all the way through closeout. Different players jump in at different times, but that's the element that we're going to bring to this program as well. Right. Looking around at the different projects that we've done, the different types, really the common theme when I look at all this, though, is how to deliver quality and consistency throughout all the projects. You may have work at one school, a scope of work that's going to get done in 18 months from now. We're going to have to deliver the exact same scope of work maybe 6 years from now as well. We have to make sure both we have parity and equity throughout the district, as well as being able to commit to do what we said we're going to do in the master plan for the money that we've laid out. You will see, as this program unfolds, multiple, and we can work you through this as we go through it, but multiple companies and consultants and vendors. It's going to take an entire team to execute this. This first contract tonight for program or project management is comprehensive. We go from beginning to end, and our goal is to initially lay out the budget and schedule parameters for the entire capital program. And that will allow us to then lay out and align, as we spoke about Tim Carty, your financial advisor, I know he's been here before, lay out and align that with the issuances that are coming through the bond. This program will be driven by the money you have available at the time you have available to it, right? That will be the initial driver. And then you'll look to prioritize and establish your goals based on those fundings that will be available. Budget and schedule, budget and schedule. We will also work closely with you. The district had a great amount of foresight, and back in April 2022, you released a request for qualifications. You've established a roster of professionals. You're 3-4 months ahead of everybody else, just so you know. That's something a lot of people wait to do to get that roster. But now we're going to go out and get proposals from those companies for specific projects for a fixed price that we're going to be able to come back and bring forward those to you so we can begin the design process and move forward on that. Eventually, once the projects get designed, there will also be a construction manager, a general contractor, maybe a lease-back contractor at some point, all sorts of different inspectors, testing, a whole laundry list, as you know, that'll come across as well.
Will you actually be also bidding for some of these projects as they come along?
No.
So you don't do actual construction work?
We do. We work as a general contractor. We just don't do it where we're the program managers. Okay. So we would not be a general contractor anywhere, that we are the program manager. Another company and another service that's going to be provided at some point would be construction management, which is the oversight of a project. We'll call it from bid all the way through the closeout of the job, that phase of it. And that's another contract that you could see come through as well for different vendors. We were actually approved to be one of your construction managers also, but we're your program managers, and we're going to be overseeing construction managers. Are there any questions on these roles before I move forward at all? I know the district's built things and has things going on. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on giving everything.
Forgive, I don't have the facilities inside. You guys have had other discussions, so these are maybe some basic questions. What is the term of length of this contract we're voting on today?
This is a one-year contract.
And it's at $497,000?
Up to.
Up to, okay. And so what I'm trying to get my head around is, and I think the average billing rate's like $153 an hour is what it comes out to if you blend it out, which is a lot. It's more than anybody in this district makes. So I'm trying to understand kind of what are we getting in the next 6 to 12 months when we can't really do, as you're saying, we're on an 18-month back order for things. I want to make sure the meter's not running with someone thinking a lot of really important thoughts, but we have no shovels to hit any grounds, nothing to order yet because it's 18-month and back. So is it?
It's a very, that's a very important question. And what we need, so what we've assembled to date, as the board knows, is a project priority list.
Yep.
So now we need to take that project priority list and turn it into a what can we do and win list.
Okay.
And part of that is really looking at the market as of today. Where is the current supply chain shortage for HVAC systems? Where are we going to put a roof on first? Where's the plug and play options? Where is the DSA approvals? All the different soil scientists that need to come into play. One question we'll have with the Teleco team is really strategy. So if let's say HVAC is 18 months out, should we buy those units now? And if yes, where do we store them? Do we do lease back? How does that factor into the initial bond sale? On the front end, getting the inertia of this going requires real strong expertise. Once it's moving, then we have a conversation about where we lean maybe more on construction management, as Mr. Bell is sharing. But we want, and to maximize the community's investment means that we bring a strategy to the board and then a financing option that comes with that then we can deliver on, especially given that time is money.
So what seems challenging about this bond as opposed to other ones is we're not building a school, we're not building a PAC. And so a lot of, like our two previous bonds were driven by big projects with also money that could be spent on tech or whatever. This is a lot of money that's going a lot of different places. We really need the expertise of someone in the field who can map that out and manage that, or otherwise we're going to be like whack-a-mole on projects, even with all that our facilities people know and understand about what we need to do and fix.
And are we, that's helpful. Given that you're not able to bid on any of the individual projects we have in the district, are you able to help us, though, vet the bidders as they come in? Is that a role that you help play?
Absolutely. And you jumped ahead to my last slide. No, just kidding. In terms of, yes, so that's the question is, hey, what's going to happen in the next 6 months while we're figuring this out? So why don't I jump right into that? And I think that'll be helpful for you.
Yeah, and as you're jumping into that, Dr. Gleason, so to Mr. Lawrence's point about $400,000 a year for this, you are going to be watching closely the hours spent, right? I mean, if like what Ms. Cutbill said and what this gentleman said is front loading is really important, right? Getting all the ducks in a row to start, figuring out what needs to be ordered, and that's going to take time and expertise, which is terrific. But there may be a time at some point where, okay, we're in a holding pattern. So, I mean, I know I feel confident you're going to watch these bucket of hours, right?
Most definitely.
There's not a minimum? No?
I don't foresee us being in a holding pattern at all, but that's just,
I'm so sorry,
yeah,
Steph.
sorry, no, go ahead.
I think in talking, Dr. Stepp and I have, had conversation with job alikes across the state. And one of the biggest mistakes it appears that we can learn from is that when can be a paralysis on the front end of a bond, given the scope, size, and abstract nature of this work. And it's not just the expertise regarding the coordination of all the different projects. It's also we need to set up our own internal indirect infrastructure for accounting, audit, state matching. And we are very lucky to have the expertise of Ms. Julie Abbott, our Director of Facilities, but we're also humble enough to know that to do this right means to invest a little bit on the front end.
What I was just going to ask, because I'm sure I know the answer is probably no, but just because contractor do it yourself, this is a multi-year effort. I mean, do districts in this position ever take a look and say, that's probably 3 FTEs we could hire full-time? I mean, or, to bring in and have them, since we're going to be doing, as Ms. Cupbill said, a whack-a-mole of hundreds of projects that are going to take, effort here, does anybody ever do that route?
We definitely explored that. And Dr. Stepp, I don't know if you want to build on this. And I would even say Mr. Bell also as well. one of the things that's tricky is how to coordinate all the different construction projects with the different construction managers. Questions we have to answer are we going to have site-specific construction managers, or are we going to have project-specific construction managers? How are we going to outline and lay out these different projects? I do believe that we are going to learn a ton from the Teleco team that then we can apply in the future. And we also know that the Teleco team has expertise in the triad of all these different elements: construction directly, construction management, project management. And so this is the start of a relationship. And we also know there's going to need to be multiple relationships to pull off the bond projects at an aggressive timeline.
And it's a one-year contract, so they have to come back for a second year?
Correct. After 1 year, we'll look and we'll see where we're at, and then either renew or say, hey, we learned a lot, and we need to move forward with phase 2.
And there's exit language in here that's very reasonable. Who created, is this your standard contract? Did our legal review it?
This contract, my eyes are crossed because we've looked at it, and I think I say that because it deserves that. We've had 20 drafts that have gone back and forth between Teleco with legal. I've reached out to the FICMAT CBO list for language, and we've gone through multiple drafts back and forth, and this is the end product of a lot of very careful work. I can understand a member of the community watching tonight and say, hey, that's just passed a week or so ago. How did you get this so fast? It's because we've been working on it for months to be ready so that if the community gave us the blessing of this bond passing, we were ready to maximize that investment because time is money.
So hiring them at this point with no S money, how does the district pay for them?
The district can pre-fund soft costs with the bond measure. Let's say there were hard costs that we work with Mr. Bell's team and say there are some things, if we procured them in January, February, it would save hundreds of thousands of dollars. We could do a resolution that the board can be brought to the board to be a reimbursement resolution. Where we could have other facilities-based funds pre-fund it and then be refunded.
So these soft costs can be refunded by Measure S?
Yeah, all soft costs can be refunded by Measure S without the need of that resolution.
Okay.
Can't we, but we can also fund hard costs in advance, but that requires a resolution.
Hard costs require a resolution.
And that would basically just come from the general fund, right?
And
General fund or Fund 14.
Yeah.
is there a certain percentage of dollars, of bond dollars, that go to these type of project management? Is there a standard?
That's a good question. Mr. Bell?
What I would relate that back to is there's percentages that go back to the management of the overall program, and sometimes those are paid, a portion of those could be paid to a consultant, a portion of those are also covered by specific district staff. And in that range, we're also going to talk about over the entire issuance period, and we see that anywhere between 1% to 3% of the total cost. Couple takeaways from this conversation, which is this is what you're having is the conversation. I mean, this is what we talk about. So a $340 million bond that you have, coupled with any past funding, potential future funding, you're talking about $500 million. So right now we're talking about the planning of a capital program that's a $500 million program. Prior to 10 years ago, the only place you saw a program like that was LA Unified, LAX. These would be huge capital programs that are involved. And right now, school districts are managing and administering those programs. It's a significant, significant effort, especially when you look at the annual operating budget of your district and how much activity this is going to be. It's a huge endeavor.
What has weighed on me, secondly, after, oh my God, we really need us to pass, is that we have to really be smart and proactive and manage this correctly. It's such a, diffused bond over so many years to so many projects that I think we have to have really great 30,000-foot view at the beginning and a plan that we execute. And I think in this case, we're smart enough to know that what we don't know, which is a lot in this kind of scenario.
No, I think that's very fair, and I think it's great that we're being proactive on this and getting the right people in place at this point and doing what we can to solve some district problems, structural problems with, HVAC and roofs as just starters and condemned buildings, so, yeah.
Just looking at the staffing, so when it says, for example, 160 hours for a project manager, is that gonna be one individual who's full-time, who this is their job?
That's right.
They don't have 4 other clients they're managing, they're
They'll be on
living and breathing LVUSD for the next
And
year.
on site as well. Yep.
But it's that same person, not 10% of 10 people.
Right.
Okay.
And here at the district office, is this Jeff person coming in and?
Yeah, as was shared, the person lives in the community, has gone through our schools. His wife has gone through our schools.
So we typically co-locate, yeah. And then our management team, our director, whose time you'll see in there as well, that's the oversight. And then I don't charge for my time, but I oversee the contract.
Oh, then use him a lot.
We're never
So-
seeing him, we're never
It's a
seeing
part
him.
of our, it's a part of our
Never see him
business.
again.
It's a part of our business. So.
But we will see Jay Bell again.
yeah.
I've known him for about 15 years and never worked with him until now, but we will see him again. Early on, when we began this process, I picked up the phone and called him and I said, this is what we're looking at, help. And he took the call and it's been great. And he and his staff have met with us several times. To a point made earlier, too, about staffing changes for us. The job descriptions approved tonight, Assistant Director of Construction and Bond Projects, Assistant Director of Maintenance Operations Facilities, and Assistant Director of Child Nutrition. Those positions were created with an eye towards our change with child nutrition, with, the departure of Waleska Cannon and Julie Abbott stepping in. And so we said, we allowed that to work a little bit.
I think one of your people just walked in.
Oh, cool. Hey, Brady.
I recognize her from the slide.
I apologize, really bad traffic.
That's all right. We were set for 7 too, but we're happy that we're ahead of schedule. As project managers, we like getting ahead of schedule, so it's good.
Good.
Yeah,
We're going to hold you to that.
Pretty to Sousa.
We told Jay and his team 7 o'clock, full disclosure, so she's early,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
So we appreciate that, and we just got moving early, so we called Jay.
We like when people accelerate schedules, so it's good.
You can see we have confetti all over the ground here, based on all the celebrations we have.
Okay, another question. So we're going to, I assume, this is for the board for a vote tonight. We approve it. When do they move in?
Just emailing Jay and his colleague Blaine earlier today. We have tentatively set up a meeting, I think the second day after Thanksgiving break. And at that point, we're really going to start the process of the process. And I think it's, the board, of course, lives this, but just for anyone watching, we have committees, finance and facilities that are committees of the board where I sense we're going to be meeting more frequently than the current schedule for the next 6 to 12 months.
So, go ahead.
And, sorry, go.
Mine is more tactical, just wording wise. This bond has not passed yet, and the wording in the agenda says it has passed. So it's on a track to do it, but in a day and age where I think it's super important that I know we all agree, this is not even.
Right, no, that's
every
good.
vote has to be counted.
Yes.
My preference would be, 1, strike that from the agenda item that it has passed, and 2, put some sort of language in the resolution that just says, upon the completion and certification of the election on, the 28th, this goes into, whatever. I don't think that impacts you because you're not thinking to meeting until after Thanksgiving, which is actually the 28th, so I think that's fine. But I think those 2 little changes to me feel better, even though I know all indications are green light on the dashboard, it's going to pass.
I absolutely agree with that.
You got it.
To have this contract go into effect when the vote is certified, I think that's a great idea, Mr. Lawrence. And my statement to my fellow board members who are on these committees or whoever will be starting in January, just please keep in mind that we would like regular updates, and even, if there's an update, Dr. Gleason, for our December meeting, even if it's short, I don't know if they need to come, but regular updates. We want to be transparent. We want to make sure all the board members are involved, included, and have an opportunity to ask questions.
We will do that. This is where I would again remind the board, best practice is to, because I know everything will change in January, is to read committee agendas of committees you're not on and read minutes, so that if you have questions, we can sort of flesh them out. But yes, you're right. Yes, the whole board should be updated. Yeah.
in December, I think we'll have a couple bond-related items, potentially with respect to citizens oversight and maybe even starting to talk about financing. So we'll definitely,
Okay.
it'll be a top-line project or a top-line agenda item.
The bottom line, this is so darn exciting. Thank you to our community. Thank you for you. Thank you, Dr. Gleason and Dr. Stepanowski and anybody else who worked on this. We're making history.
Would you like a motion to approve?
No,
Yes.
I'm not done talking.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, we could be here all night.
Yes. I'm done talking.
Yes,
She's thanking again, so, yeah.
5,000 more hugs to go out tonight. Motion to approve?
Second.
all those in favor, student,
Aye.
board?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm only supporting it because you're here. If you weren't here, it would have been super close. You were the critical final elements.
Nice, you just insulted him.
Thank you. We really look forward to working with you.
We look forward
Yes,
to it
thank
too.
you
We
so
know that you'll have a busy, we're all going to have a busy next couple of months laying out priorities and lining up.
It's a good
the
problem to have,
resources that are
though.
needed, but it'll be a great opportunity. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
care.
you very much.
Safe travel.
Approval of provisional internship permit credential for industrial and technology education.
Madam President, members of the board, staff is seeking approval of a provisional internship permit credential to fill a computer science position that was previously vacated mid-year. The candidate before you has his bachelor's degree in computer science, and his experience teaching is in computer science and robotics. Staff is recommending approval so he can serve our students at AC Stell Middle School.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor, student,
Aye.
board?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approval of variable term waiver permit.
Madam President, members of the board, this variable term waiver permit can be granted when the candidate has the appropriate degree in a specific subject designation. In this instance, our kindergarten teacher at Sumac, Ms. Johansson, holds an international business bachelor's degree with an emphasis in Latin America. She's currently pursuing her BCLAD in January. Staff is seeking approval for the waiver permit for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
Second.
And she's still teaching. She's teaching now, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Sure.
All those in favor, student,
Aye.
board?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And then I do believe we are adjourned.
No, yes, we are. I was like, what? We have one more now? Hold on.
I mean, you could stay.
Okay.
Somebody has a plane to
No, I
catch.
don't. I can,
Thank you, everybody, for all of your hard
thank
work.
you.
Thank you.